Okay, here we want to graph the exponential function. To graph the exponential function, just like any graph, we need some points. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a little chart here. We have x, and here would be y. So if I let x equal to 0, okay, I need somebody to respond to this because before I start this problem, a lot of you said that you have no idea how to do this. So that's a very simple question I'm asking you to respond. If x equal to 0, what is y? Okay, instead of f of x, I'm just going to call it y for now. Y is equal to 4 to the power of x plus 1. So if x is equal to 0, can somebody with the microphone tell me what would be y then? So you just substitute, right?
Just
substitute
1.
Somebody says just
2.
1. Somebody says 2. So it would be 4 to the power of 0 plus 1. Now 4 to the power of 0 would be equal to, anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1. 1 is 1. So 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Maybe you forgot to add the other 1 to it. That's why you said 1. So when x equal to 0, y is equal to 2. Everybody agree with that? So I got 1 point here. 1 point of this graph is 0, 2. So we find the y-intercept. So right away I can exclude A, cannot be a right answer. C cannot be a right one. So looks like that B passes through the point that we just find, 0 and 2. And it doesn't look like B is going to, just by this 1 point, I can conclude D is my answer. But that's not enough points for me to 100% convince myself that's the graph. Okay, let's take a look at another point. If x is equal to 1, can somebody tell me what would be y then? Just substitute 4 to the power of 1. 5, somebody says. Very
5.
good. 5. Very good. I'll find another point. Let's call it P2. 1 and 5. Okay, x is equal to 1, y is equal to 5. Looks like more and more points I find here, more and more this graph looks like D. So as I increase the value of x, that's why I call it exponential. As I increase the value of x, you see how sharply this graph increases? So that's the behavior of exponential function. And as I decrease the value of x, this graph gets closer and closer to this 0. So let's pick a point from in the other side. If I let x equal to let's say -1, so this would be 4 to the power of -1 plus 1. So you see, -1 would be a number less than 1. So it would be 1/4 plus 1. 1 is, let's call it 4 over 4. So it would be 5 over 4, right? So you see how you get, I get close to 5 over 4. And for sure, you find another point here. If x equal to -1, y is equal to -5 over 4. So you see this number gets closer and closer to 0. So for sure, this would be my graph. So even if I didn't have these graph in front of me, if you were going to graph this exponential function, that's all you have to do is just substitute some values here. Let x equal to some numbers, plug it in, find the corresponding number for y, and you can see the behavior of exponential function would be like this. At one end, it's going to get closer and closer to 0, and the other end is going to shoot up like that. It really increases rapidly.